Well, hello there, everyone. It's Mrs. Keel, and today I'm reading stories about tractors at the Doylestown Library. All right, touch your nose. Here we go. Touch your nose. Touch your chin. That's the way our game begins. Touch your eyes. Touch your knees. Now pretend you're going to sneeze. Achoo! Touch your hair. Touch one ear. Touch your two red lips right here. Touch your elbows where they bend. That's the way our touch game ends. And the first story I have for you today is all of the factors of why I love tractors. The author is Davina Bell. It's illustrated by Jenny Lovely, and the publisher is Green Willow Books, an imprint of HarperCollins Publishers. And I just have to tell you that we just got this book into the library yesterday, so it's a brand new book. All the factors of why I love tractors. Down past the school and the pool and the shop, I run through the door with a skip and a hop. It's the library! Hello there, Frankie McGee, Miss Squid, the librarian says to me. She doesn't look like a squid to me. Oh no, says my mom with a very big groan when I show her the book that I want to take home. There are more than 1 million good books here to try. Why is yours always about tractors, Frank? Why? Oh, thank you for asking, I say with great glee. I'd love to explain why they're special to me and tell you the many glorious factors that go into the love that I have for all tractors. Do you hear some rhyming words there? Rhyming words are words that sound the same, like factor and tractor. First, the big strong treads on wheels that can travel through huge muddy fields or across pits of gravel. A rumbling engine, a pipe that spits smoke. A rake if you're raking, a hoe that can poke. A seat for the farmer, a wheel that steers, a grumbling noise as she changes gears. Leaves and levers and buttons and pedals to press. Trucks have those too, my mom loudly protests. So things like press and protests also rhyme. But Mom, I say, trucks just cannot do the things that a tractor can, let me tell you. A tractor has different parts that attach, a shovel for digging, a vegetable patch, a plow to turn earth so it's ready for seeds, a sharp blade to chop all those troublesome weeds. Please stop, says my mom. I have heard quite enough. But I'm only beginning. They do even more stuff. You used to like trains, my mother complains. But then I got bigger and so did my brain. And I realized trains only chug down a track. How boring. I'm snoring just thinking of that. Police cars have sirens. Gliders have wings. And forklifts have forks if you're into those things. But none of those is as good enough factor to challenge my love for a shiny red tractor. Like an old Macy Ferguson. What a machine! Or if red's not around, well, I guess I'll take green. That's the color of tractors made by John Deere. I know, says my mom. I've been hearing all year. What about fire trucks with ladders and hoses, or planes with their wide wings and cute little noses? Cranes are so tall they can help build a wall. They can lift things up high. They deliver in whole. A cement mixer. All it does is go around. A steamroller? It just sort of squashes the ground. What's wrong with tractors? I don't understand. Oh, Frank, I'm sorry, but I just can't stand any more books about them. Will these do instead? Cable cars, submarines, taxis, a sled? This one has rockets flying through space. This one has cars driving fast in a race. No thanks, I say in my most polite voice, but I think you'll be very pleased with my choice. I'll lend it to you if you're interested too. There's a lot you can learn about what tractors do. Frankie! Mom hollers. Hush, says Miss Squid. Did you find something, Frank? Thank you. Yes, I did. For many various glorious factors, I want this book, and it's all about tractors. What a surprise! I would never have guessed, says Miss Squid with a wink. Well, you know yourself best. When you want something different, just come and find me. A kid who likes books is a nice thing to see. Right, Mom, I say as we check my book out. I like books. That's what matters, not what they're about. Well, I thought there was one more page. Oh, there is, right there. And don't worry, I add, I know this one by heart. I can read it to you. When can we start? So that is all of the factors about why I love tractors. And I thought that was a pretty cool book. You can come into the library and take that one out. And the next one I have for you is a little song called Down on Grandpa's Farm. We're on our way on our way to Grandpa's farm. We're on the way to Grandpa's farm. Down on Grandpa's farm there is a big brown cow. Down on Grandpa's farm there is a big brown cow. The cow, she makes a sound like this. Moo! The sound, she makes a sound like this. Moo! We're on the way to Grandpa's farm. We're on the way to Grandpa's farm. Down on Grandpa's farm there is a little red hen. Down on Grandpa's farm there is a little red hen. The hen, she makes a sound like this. Cluck, 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 cluck. The hen, she makes a sound like this. Cluck, 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 cluck. Oh, we're on the way to Grandpa's farm. We're on the way to Grandpa's farm. Down on Grandpa's farm there is a little white sheep. Down on Grandpa's farm there is a little white sheep. The sheep, she makes a sound like this. Baa! The sheep, she makes a sound like this. Baa! Oh, we're on the way to Grandpa's farm. We're on the way to Grandpa's farm. Down on Grandpa's farm there is a big black dog. Down on Grandpa's farm there is a big black dog. The dog, he makes a sound like this. Woof, 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 woof. The dog, he makes a sound like this. Woof, 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 woof. Oh, we're on the way to Grandpa's farm. We're on the way We're on the way to Grandpa's farm. Down on Grandpa's farm there is a big brown horse. Down on Grandpa's farm there is a big brown horse. The horse, he makes a sound like this. Neigh! The horse, he makes a sound like this. Neigh! Oh, we're on the way. We're on the way to Grandpa's farm. We're on the way to Grandpa's farm. All right, and the next story I have for you is called Duck on a Tractor. The author and the illustrator is David Shannon, and the publisher is Blue Sky Press, an imprint of Scholastic Inc. So, Duck on a Tractor. Oh, you are not going to believe what happens in this book. Down on the farm, Duck sometimes got wild ideas. One day he decided he could ride a bike, so he did. Then he spotted the tractor. I bet I can drive a tractor, he said. The other animals weren't so sure, but they all said, well, if he can ride a bike, maybe he can drive a tractor too. Duck climbed on the tractor and looked around. He pushed some pedals and wiggled a metal stick, but nothing happened. Then a shiny little piece of metal by the steering wheel caught his eye. He pulled it out. He pushed it in. Then he turned it. All of a sudden, the tractor shook and coughed and rumbled. It began to move. At first, it moved very slowly, and it jerked a lot, but it was fun. Duck drove around the barnyard until he got the hang of it. Then he stopped in front of the other animals. "Climb on, everybody!" shouted Duck. What do you think that little shiny piece of metal was? Do you think it might have been a key? You think it might have been a key. And he turned the tractor on with the key. Dog was first. He jumped right up next to Duck. "Woof," said Dog. But what he thought was, "We're going for a ride." My dog Stuart likes to go for a ride too. To everyone's surprise, Cow clambered on next. "No," said Cow. But what she thought was, "This is the silliest thing I've ever done." Pig and Pig took a seat in the back. "Oink," said Pig and Pig. But what they thought was, "This sure beats walking." My dog Amber likes to go for a ride too. Then came Chicken, Mouse, and Goat. "Squawk," said Chicken, but what she thought was, "Last one on is a rotten egg." "Squeak," said Mouse, but what she thought was, "I can see everything from up here." "Ah," said Goat, but what he thought was, "I'm hungry. Does the garbage dump have a drive-through window?" Next up were Horse and Cat. Cat jumped up gracefully onto the tractor. Horse, not so much. "Meow," said Cat, but what she thought was, "I was going to take a nap, but this should be very interesting." "Neigh," said Horse, but what he thought was, "I think I'd rather walk." The only one left on the ground was Sheep. "Bah," said Sheep, but what she thought was, "This is too dangerous." "Get on, Sheep," everyone shouted, but Sheep wouldn't budge. So Duck started driving away without her. "Wait," cried Sheep, "don't leave me here all alone." She ran after the tractor and took a flying leap onto it. "Quack," yelled Duck, but what he thought was, "Wahoo!" Duck steered the tractor down the lane and out onto the main road. And before long, they were driving right through the middle of town. It was lunchtime, so most people were in the diner. They all looked up when Duck and the other animals passed by on the red tractor. A little boy named Edson was having lunch with his grandma. Did you ever, Grandma gasped. But what she thought was, a duck on a tractor? That's impossible. That's totally awesome, Edison shouted. But what he thought was, no one's going to believe this. Marcine, the waitress, looked up from her pad and noticed Cat. Heavens to Betsy, she exclaimed, but what she thought was, I like cats. Deputy Bob blabbered, if that don't beat all. But what he thought was, how am I going to explain this to the sheriff? And right here it says, Lily's Diner. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. A man named Otis chimed in. I must be seeing things. But what he thought was, oh no, not again. Holy cow, hollered Manny the cook. But what he thought was, holy cow! Manny usually said exactly what he thought. The mayor almost choked on his pie. Good gravy, he sputtered. But what he thought was, those pigs are even fatter than I am. Corky just whistled. But what he thought was, that duck is smarter than he looks. Gwen came out of the restroom. Would you look at that, she exclaimed. But what she thought was, I can't see a thing without my glasses. Farmer Odell observed, that's a dang nice tractor. But what he thought was, hey, that's my tractor. He decided he'd better go after it and ran out the door. Everyone else ran out too and chased after him. By this time, Duck had turned onto the next street. The tractor shuddered to a stop. Duck tried turning the shiny little piece of metal again. Nothing happened. I don't know much about spelling, said Dog, but I think that E means it's the end of our ride. Sheep cleared her throat. You know, she said, I think we might get in trouble for this. Let's get out of here, yelled Duck, just as Farmer Odell and everyone else from the diner came around the corner. Everyone burst out laughing. Nah, they all said, it couldn't have been. It was an optical illusion, exclaimed Otis. Farmer Odell said he must have left his tractor running by accident. I guess that explains it, Deputy Bob agreed. Then they all went back to the diner to finish their lunch. And no one ever admitted that on that day they had seen a cow, a goat, a cat, a dog, a sheep, a chicken, a horse, 2 pigs, a mouse, and a duck on a tractor. Well, that was kind of a silly story. But you know, I've read if Duck rode a bike. So if Duck can ride a bike, I guess he can ride a tractor too. All right, raise your hand. Wave high. Wave low. I think it's time. I gotta go. Wave your elbows. Wave your toes. Wave your tongue. Wave your nose. Wave your knees. Blow a kiss with your fingertips. Wave your ears. Wave your hair. Wave your belly and your derriere. Wave your chin. Wave one eye. Raise your hand and wave